In plain language, what does this mean when it comes to President Trump's attempt to get reelected as president?
Well, first of all, what they're saying is they will not fast-track this decision. The court, without comment and without a public dissent, said they are not going to make a decision soon. So this basically puts in jeopardy that March 4th trial date. The prosecutors wanted to start the trial in D.C. On March 4th over the the charges that the president tried to incite that the disturbance on January 6th, 2 years ago. So this will actually hurt the prosecution's efforts. It doesn't tell us that they will ultimately, say he's not immune. They don't. It doesn't tell us what they'll do. They just say they're not going to decide in a speedy fashion.
Well, okay, and maybe that's a good thing, Jodi, because this is a pretty consequential decision. Can you explain to us what the argument that the Trump administration has made? Because isn't the idea here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that their argument, the lawyer's argument, is that a sitting president is going to do things in service of the country, in service of his duties as president, that he should be immune from any legal consequence once he's out of office.
That's essentially their argument, Romaine, that if the actions as president basically give you immunity, that you did that acting in your role as president, therefore you can't be tried as an individual. Now, of course, the prosecution is making the argument that he did things that were not necessarily in the role of president. He was not following his constitutional responsibilities, and that is what will be at the core of the case. So they're saying he shouldn't be immune from this. We want to try this case and see what happens.
Is there any precedent for the immunity argument? Because I think we can all kind of see the slippery slope here. Even if there is a partial immunity, that really opens a can of worms for any future president that maybe is less than ethical to do things that maybe he or she should not be doing.
Right, and that's at the core of this. So a lot of people are saying, and I think a lot of legal scholars will say this is probably the right decision. If you fast track this, then you're speeding things up too much. At the same time, it does call into question when that trial will start. And of course, we are running into campaign season. The president who was running, the former president who was again running to be president, it's a very unusual situation, is saying he doesn't want any of these trials to start until after 2024, until 2025, when he is hoping he will be president again. And there's a lot of talk about, especially in the federal cases, that he would try to pardon himself. So it's just an extraordinary set of circumstances. But for now, what the court is saying is they're not going to fast track.